What up? What up? Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Grid and Grind Show, brought to you by the Off the Bench podcast. It's a beautiful day. Not so much outside, but it's just another day that you wake up and your feet hit the ground and you get to move and groove. So I'm not going to harp too much about the poor weather conditions here in Florida, even though it's a little miserable. But to brighten my day, I got the chance, the honor to talk to Janine Nicole of the Orlando Aces. So, you know, it's going to be the highlight of the day. I mean, the weather, whatever's going on, it doesn't matter because I get to have an awesome interview with an awesome athlete today. But before we get Janine on and get her story, I got to pay the bills. I got to keep the lights on, especially the heat right now. The In Off the Bench Podcast Network, Grid and Grind Show, is brought to you by Chinook Seedery. Whether you're on the field or in the boardroom signing deals, Chinook helps you get the job done. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Stop by your local convenience store, local gas station, local grocery store. You know the aisle. It's the snack aisle. Don't tell me you don't know where the snack aisle is. Everybody knows where the snack aisle is. Go down there and pick up the best seeds in the game. Memphis City Designs, get your brands, gear, and logos on everything from shoes to underoos. Get your In Off the Bench gear while supplies last. Relief Chiropractic, go see my boy Dr. Vic Robinson. I've been singing his praises every chance I get because the guy's got magic hands. He's rejuvenating people. He's adding years to their life. He's going to give you a free consultation. He's going to devise and construct a plan that is prescriptive and tailored to your needs, not just some Mickey Mouse generic cookie cutter plan. He's going to do something that's going to fit your needs and help you live a longer life. So go see him, check him out. And finally, Old Dominick Distillery. Experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis. From bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin, Old Dominick's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or just to pick up your favorite bottle to keep warm in these cold days ahead in this winter cold snap. But the bills have been paid. I've done the business, done my due diligence. So help me welcome on to the show with the biggest interview in podcasting this week, Orlando Aces 2024 United Grid League All-Star, Janine Nicole. Janine, what is up?
Hi.
I mean, look at that. It's hard if you're like Disney World. If you can't be in a bad mood at Disney World, and you can't be in a bad mood talking to you, to smile, to everything, like you're ready to roll. But I do have to ask, all right? Now, rumor on the street, all right? I didn't come up with this rumor now.
Okay.
Rumor is it that you put the bougie in Bad and Bougie? Is that true?
I knew it was coming, and yes, I do. Yes, I do. I own it. I own the bougie of Bad and Bougie.
Yeah, I talked to Jasmine a couple weeks ago, and she sang your praises, but she did say, we are bad, but she is just bougie, and don't get it twisted. Like, she's good at what she does, but she is over the top, and I get it. I see you on social media, the coaching, the training, everything, but in some regards, you have to be that way. You got to be motivated, and you can fall into the pit of like doom and gloom if you're doing the same thing every day. But for you, it seems like it's a blessing. It's a joy. You get up to, interact with people. And that's kind of the name of the game, is just being, happy and smiling. And I don't ever see you not doing that unless you're getting after it on the grid, and then the intensity strikes. But as soon as the race is over, you're back to smiles again. So that's really what it's all about. But yeah. I appreciate you coming on today. I want to kind of get into your backstory a little bit. Obviously, everybody has a fitness journey. Some people start through sports as a kid, and it kind of naturally evolves into working out and lifting weights and fitness. Some people have these, epiphanies as they get older, like, I need to do a better job of taking care of myself. So with you, how does fitness come into your life?
Yeah, I mean, it started way back when I used to race after church, racing in the street all the time. And it kind of started, I guess, around like middle school. My gym teacher talked about like this thing called the Women's Colgate Games, where every weekend in January we would hop on a little magic school bus and go out to New York, go to Brooklyn, and we would run. And it was just like a bunch of girls, like girls from all over the city, some from Jersey. So that's kind of where like my track career started. And then from there, like I got pretty decent, and then ended up running in high school. And then from high school, got a full ride to go to the University of Texas, and then from Texas,
Let's go.
a University of Arkansas, Wu Pig Sooie. I finished up there, and then I just I had a really bad Achilles tendonitis injury, so it was in both my Achilles at PRP surgery. We did a lot, so I really didn't get the opportunity to really do outdoor seasons because I would get through cross country, get through indoor, and then my Achilles would flare back up again. I guess it was between just like years and years of sprinting on my toes and running. I ran cross country on my toes, and then probably a combination of that, and then wearing a pair of heels over the weekend when we were going out. But those two together, I don't think they really connected well, and that kind of put that on pause, like all the dreams and the dreams I had of course, like going to the Olympics and all that stuff after college. That kind of put that to a halt. And I tried to still run a little bit after college, and I came back home, but it just didn't happen. So that's when I kind of had to shift. So I made a shift and started coaching as a grad intern at Rutgers Newark while I was getting my master's there. And then from there, I got to work at the New York Armory in Manhattan or in Washington Heights. And there I was the associate director of track and field and educational development, because they had a really dope, you would never even know, but they have a college prep program there. And and I got to oversee that, and as well as like 100 and some odd track meets at the track and field facility. So I got to see like the behind the scenes of how to run track meets and all that. But even with that, like I still wanted to coach, because just kicking back and chilling with the kids that I was talking to during the college prep program and talking to them and helping them getting to schools, I kind of got back into coaching again. And then that's when I became the head coach, the head cross country or head women's cross country coach and assistant track and field coach at Long Island in Brooklyn. And then from there, I saw myself starting to get a little out of shape because I wasn't I wasn't doing the fitness thing as much.
That's what happens when you start throwing kids in the mix.
Yes.
And it's crazy because they're not your kids, but you start turning attention and time away from yourself, and which, rightfully you should. If you're taking a job or taking a position, you want to go 100%. And, it's admirable. It's rewarding in itself, but you do have to take a hit sometimes when it comes to your own personal things and fitness and goals that you have,
Right.
So you get there and obviously, you get to, I just hear it in your voice. Track and running is a passion. Like, you love it. And I don't disagree with this statement, is that you're probably the fastest person I've ever seen on the grid. And you're probably the only one that wishes the grid was longer. That way you could just really show it, because I feel like you're not really reaching peak speed, by the end of the quadrant 4. And it's very rare. I mean, you have to do the 4-point touches, down and back, but it's a lot of times you're running from the start to a quadrant, doing all the things you got to do, and then running off. So like, I feel like it's not, it could be longer for you and you would be okay with that,
I totally would be. I mean, I was an 800-meter runner. So that first lap was cool. You get in there, you sprint, but then like you get more gears. Those gears start kicking in. So once those gears kick in, it's over. But sometimes I gotta cut myself short a little bit.
Let me ask you this. So as an 800 runner, you could theoretically, you train well enough to where you could just come out of the gates and just haul ass and like do an 800, right?
Yeah, the 800 now is more like an 800-meter dash. So if I'm out there with the kids, they got me. Okay. But I can get out there still. I still, like in my training too, I'm still running miles. So I can still probably bust out on a good or bad day, a sub 7 mile, and get up in there in the 60s somewhere. So I'll be.
If I can hit 10-minute miles, I'm good. I was proud of myself. I did a marathon a couple years back, and I was like, I'll just shoot for 10-minute miles. That'll put me in. I just want to know that I could do it. Yes. And I went out there and I was like, 8.5, 9-minute miles. I was like, that's pretty damn good. I was
Yes,
like,
it
all
is.
right, I'll take that, and I will say this. Of all the things that someone can possibly do, like running and training for a marathon is something I don't want to do ever again. It is just
A
like
lot of mileage.
it is. It's nothing prepares you for 26.2. Like even the long runs at 20, 22 miles, I think was the longest that I ran. The last 4 miles is brutal.
It's
Brutal.
bad. It's
And
like
I feel you. I'm a toe runner. My 1.5 or my 1.5-year-old, she's gets around this house on her toes like fast now, but like it's not conducive to running 26.2 if that's how you run because my ankles, my knees, just my joints and everything. But for you, obviously, you are a busy person. You got a lot going on. You try to, stay busy as much as you can. And then, what do you know? On top of all this, you want to throw being a professional grid athlete in the mix too. So, with the evolution of grid has gone, and you might know the true beginnings because Taylor was in it, and it's gone from MPGL to a variety of different things to Florida Grid League, which is very regional, and now it's expanded out of the state of Florida, and we have what is the United Grid League. So with you, where does your journey hit grid? Like where in that continuum do you find grid?
just elaborate a little bit more. What do you?
So like,
Yeah.
when did you get into grid or when did you first know about grid?
Okay.
Was it prior to being a player or you found out about it and then you were like, I got to get into this. Let me do this.
Yeah, it was definitely before back when like NPGL was going on. One of my really close friends that was a Razorback too, Lauren Connor. She was doing great. I didn't know much about it, but she was telling me a little bit about it, and that's how I kind of found out about Taylor too, because I was definitely a fan of the Brawlers. And on top of that, Lauren is the one that got me into CrossFit. So when the gym that I'm at now is the first gym I ever went into, and Tim and Aaron Carroll were there too, and they also were a part of the Brawlers, as well as Emmy Simpkins was the head coach there. So she was part of the Brawlers as well. So it's just like I kind of was around it, but I still didn't know too much about it. So it really wasn't until years later, once I kind of started. Started. Me and Taylor both sit on the board for the Out Foundation, and following Taylor, I saw a little bit more of grid, and just kind of got into it. And then, of course, once we started dating, then I'm all in. And
Right.
I became a part of the Aces back in like 2022 when I went to my first live grid match, and I'm like, what is this? I mean,
You're like, this is it right here. Like
this was I was like, y'all don't, I'm putting this all over Instagram because y'all don't understand. There's kids, there's baby grid too. It was amazing.
I'm telling you. And
All
when you get in a relationship with Taylor, you're not just with someone that's just a part of
no,
an epic, like the top echelon of the players in the league. And you have no choice but to be all in on it because like she's moving and she's moving well and she's killing things. But
absolutely.
so
Yes.
does it take a whole lot of her convincing you to join the team, or you already once you saw it, you're like, I'm doing this?
It did take a little bit, just because once I saw it, I was like, wow, this is dope, but I didn't know if I could do it. And it did, because that's Taylor, right? Taylor's like, you can, you're made for it. That's her, right? So I'm just like, we'll see. Of course, I have to go through the tryout process and everything. I know
Yeah.
I don't want anything handed to me, and I know I can't just go in there with a I'm Taylor's girlfriend or Taylor's partner shirt on and think I'm just going to be on the team.
Right.
So just those conversations, and then just me getting some of the testers, and then also doing the trials, like all that stuff was just like, whoa, I think I can do this a little bit. So that kind of got me going.
Yeah. So, how long now? Is this the first year you've done grid?
Second.
Second.
So I'm
So,
2 years in now, and now going into the third.
all right. So that gives me a point of reference. So you know what it's like to win a championship.
Oh yeah.
So, talk me through that. Your first year, were you like, just so y'all know, this is my first year, and coincidentally, we win a championship? Is that how it goes? Or were you just kind of blown away by like the amount of success you guys had in your first season?
I was definitely like blown away. It's just you just still can't. I still couldn't believe it. Like it was win after win, but we put the work in. You know what I mean? Like we put the work in. This team is a big family, a big extended family that I had, and we've grown to know so much about how to work together and how each other is, and like just from our group chats to just even like our captains just reaching out to me before my first race, where of course the butterflies were huge. They were so big that I couldn't believe it. I was surprised no one can see them fluttering around in my stomach. But just all of that and just all the hard work that we put into, it was just like, yeah, we should have walked away with that check because we put that work in. We did every single weekend, meeting up every Sunday, fitting things into our schedule, and our staff, our coaching squad, like all of the leaders amongst us, past Orlando Aces, the fans, all that stuff together. Like it wasn't a solo win, right? It takes a village, and that village came through and helped push us every single win after win and into the championship, So it was cool. I love to win. I never say I don't like losing, right? I love to win. So to win, I'm hungry. I was starving for the next season.
I mean, there's people that will say, like, I just enjoyed being a part of the journey. Nah. We got to win. It's all about winning.
We got to win.
And if we ain't winning, we're learning. And, obviously you in your first season, you did a lot of winning, but I'm sure you did a lot of learning as well. Going into that second season, now things shift, and like when you win the championship, you're now like the hunted and like the targets on your back. Was there any like because a lot of times with teams that win, like you have to get over that ego thing of winning, like, oh, we're the best, like we don't have to work as hard now because we made it. But for y'all, like, what was the mindset going in, knowing, all right, we got to do this again? How do we make that happen?
Yeah, there was that. I mean, that first match threw us for a loop. Like it threw us for a loop. But then, like you said, right? If you're not winning, you learning, and we learned real quick. That like it's not a matter of like taking things for granted or just coming in. Like we know a lot of us on the team, if not all of us, we've had that target on our back before, right? We know that. We know what it's like to be there and know that, you've got to. And I think it was like Maurice Green or someone that said it way back when. It's like, you've got to train like number 2, right? Not like number 1. You have to train like number 2 because you do, right? So we did do that, but we did fall short. It was, we got our rookies out there that had the skills to do what needed to be done in that first match, but it was also their first match. So there's just like we just kind of fell short a little bit in what we needed to prepare for that one. And then from there, we picked it up because then after that, we fought like dogs. That dog in us came out and we just kept fighting, So we just got to keep that going into the next season as well, too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as the season progressed, like you guys fell into like where you thrive, which is, your words, grinding. Like you guys need to just be able to grind. Like you're going to put in the work and you like the work, you're not going to shy away from it. But that's where you feel like you're at your best and at your peak, when you're just, nose to the stone, just getting after it. And you had to, at this point, with a season that only has 4 regular season matches, if you lose one of those, like you're in a hole.
Yes.
So now it's this constant like dig you out of it. And you guys did a great job. Obviously you there's an opportunity to go to Vegas, and it didn't pan out the way anybody had thought, but the league shifted and did some good things to make sure that they were meaningful matches. Were you able to go to Vegas?
I sure was. I was able to go to Vegas.
How was that? I mean, let's talk about the grid first. Obviously, when you are at, an event like that, you get different sets of eyes, and it's always good exposure anytime you can put the sport out in front of new fans. And when you see that and you see what you were able to accomplish, as a league and as a team, you had a super team. what is the takeaway from Vegas for you personally?
I mean, yeah, definitely. You're right. Like the exposure and that's you can just tell grid is growing so much. I mean, even I was excited to join the team because, I knew I would bring that to my members at the gym in Jersey City, it was Florida Grid League. So yeah, maybe you know better, maybe you didn't, but even to get sponsorships and stuff like that to do this things, like people don't know about grid. So it was cool to see that, right? More eyes on the grid, but then also to get a chance. I mean, everybody's so talented in this league, but it's like when you take that talent, you put it on a team, on one team. Oh my, it's all star, right? It's like an all star weekend, right? Like well, I don't know much about basketball and all that other stuff, but like that, right? Like the Olympics, like going to the Olympics with Olympians and you get to play. I'll never forget that. I won't. It was great. It was awesome.
It's an amazing feeling. It's unique. It is a very unique sport, and I think what I like about it the most is, um, you have the ability, male, female, to mix and match and have a team consistent, but also competing against different sexes and sizes. I mean, I just saw a post with the shortest player in the league against the tallest player in the league, and the tallest player just got to hand it to him.
Right.
Like crazy stuff like that. You're not going to see that in any professional sport. And I think it's because the second thing that I enjoy about grid, and another unique characteristic of it, is it allows for someone to be really good at one special thing to shine.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be good at all these things, but like if you can move your body and you can do certain things really well, like you have a spot.
Yeah.
And you got to showcase that in Vegas. Obviously, you go to Vegas, you want to spend some time away from the professional part of it. So you get personally, did you guys get out, and enjoy yourself and experience the nightlife a little bit?
We sure did. Nightlife at a little sub 40, right? Nightlife at sub 40 is a little different out there in Vegas, but no, we did. We took a day after everything and just went to explore, walked up and down the strip, all that. So it was nice. I haven't been to Vegas in a very long time, of age.
Yeah.
So it was different.
I mean, I'll tell you this. Staying up past 10 o'clock once you have kids
Gotcha.
is it's unheard of. I mean, for me,
So I hear.
I mean, and then as you get older, obviously, you throw partying and drinking or whatever it is that you do that, can alter your sleep state. Like
Yes.
it's just not conducive to anything productive the next day. But obviously you guys sound like you had a good time. You experienced what you needed to do and you got out of there quickly and safely, and you make it back. You have the opportunity now, going into the pseudo playoffs, but you had two regular season matches that would occur the day before the playoffs would begin, and they had everything to do with seeding. Your mindset has to be, okay, we've now grinded our way to a position to make the playoffs, which, all right, that was the goal. Did it matter who you would have played, or you just wanted to win, and wherever you were seated, and you'll take on whoever?
Yeah, I mean, it was a matter of like, if wherever we're seated, we knew what we were, and we knew points wise. Like I have the note. I was keeping track of the points the entire season, and I was like, I know we got to get this, we got to do that, because I'm just meticulous like that. I'm just in it. So it didn't matter who we played, and I want to play the best, right? We want to earn our spot there. So whoever we were playing against, they deserve to be there. We deserve to be there, and we were gonna fight like dogs to the end, and that's what we did, and we were prepared to do.
When you see Orlando Aces in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and you're on the team that's opposing the Aces, you're like, shit, here we go. Like that's it's like the one team you don't want to see, and no disrespect to any of the other teams, and it's only because you guys have that fight and you've been there, you know what it's like. And I mean, you got amazing athletes that can back all of that up. Plus, you're riding a high because you guys have turned a corner and you're in a groove now.
Yes.
But you open up in that match. You take on the Atlanta Wild, number 2 seed versus number 3 seed. You guys made your way to number 3. When you go back and you look at that, obviously, you didn't win, but there's probably some positives and some negatives from that. You guys did a great job, hanging in. There was a ringer point that I think you guys threw a bonus flag. I think it was triple unders. I think Darren did some triple unders and got you guys back to right there.
Yes.
And that's when I was like, uh-oh, here we go. This is the run that we were looking for. But you fall short. So what's the takeaway? Whenever you fall short of the goal, there's always disappointment. But what do you take away from that?
I mean, again, it's another learning experience, right? Like there were, we can't, and I know there was that technicality. There was all those things that, I know Tay and Terry, I know they're beating themselves up with that, but it's just there's a lot of mistakes. There's mistakes made all the time. And we know that. We don't bank on those mistakes. We try not to make them. But it is. You just go back, you look at it, and it takes a day or two when you lose to go back and watch that film, right? To go back and watch what you did. But once you do it, you're just okay, yeah, we're not going to make that mistake again, So it just goes back. It goes back into learning again and fixing that.
It's just a crazy because the sport, it has nothing to do with people not you're not going out there thinking, I don't know if I can do this movement. Everybody can do the movements that they're assigned. It's just efficiency, how fast. And a lot of times it comes down to less than a second between the two finishing between 1 point and 2 points. And, and that's the sport and that's the beauty of it. But you also know, when you fault, there's no room for that. And sometimes you don't anticipate those mistakes, but they happen, and you got to make sure that you account for that, and you got to clean it up and do better. But you learn from it, you move on. I'm sure from the 28 minutes that we've spent together, I can tell you might push that to the side, but it's still a thought that's going to motivate you moving forward. I know, because finishing short of the goal, it just doesn't taste that well, it's hard to get rid of that taste in your mouth. I can drink coffee all day, but it ain't gonna wash that away. But for you, obviously there's a lot to look forward to for next season. So, what's your plans for 2025? Are we back with the Aces? Are we back playing again? Are you redirecting focus to something else? What's going on?
No, I'm all in for Grid, right? My partner, she retired. I know I'm gonna.
Did she retire?
Yes. She's not. Yes.
And I know that she has to. I'm sure that this as well. Everybody's saying the same thing. Is she?
I know. I mean,
I saw her in Vegas move a barbell, and I was like, "Who's this teenager out there moving this barbell?" So don't let her fool you about all this. It's cold in Jersey. My bones are achy. I'm getting older. Nonsense. Tell her to let's go.
I know. She really is. It's time, because she's definitely pulled a lot of time, and I see her, right? Being on this side. I love being behind the scenes and seeing it, but dating the coach, the player, I see those sides. I see her up at night. I see her up early in the morning. I see her just working on, putting the races together, or making sure these people are testing, or talking to everybody on the team, giving them phone calls, but she also has her day-to-day, right? She's running a business. She's a realtor. She's out here coaching at the gym at JC Fit with me. So she's everywhere. She's got her hands in so many things, and she gives 110% in all those things. And it's it's a lot. So she does. She deserves to take this time and get back to her, with a little bit of me in there, but she deserves to get back to her for sure.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
She'll be on those sidelines. She's still going to be involved, for sure. And because I'm in it, she'll be there. So
Oh yeah, she gonna be out there. She gonna be yelling for you, no doubt. You know that.
Yes, throwing a water bottle.
What's it?
Great, maybe. I
What you know, obviously she held a coach, and player role. Is she like what type of coach is she to you? Or what type of coach do you need her to be to you? Because it's different when you're in a relationship with someone, but then they're also a coach. Like, do you require like the realness, or do you need like the like let me give a softer touch to how I'm going to come back with this feedback to you? Or is it let me let you do your thing and then we'll talk about this later? Like how is that approach for you?
Well, I mean, even in our relationship, right? Like I'm very spicy, very, very
I
spicy.
see.
Okay, with a hint of spice, a side of spice on the side. So even in our day to day conversation, sometimes she does. She always presents whatever she needs to present with love, and I may come back spicy, but I always come back. So it's just like taking that out in the grid too. The first couple of times there was some eyes, and she looked at me and she said something. I was like, hold up, like I'm the girlfriend. You don't have to talk to me like that. But I respect it. So at the same time, too, it's like I do need that. Like, keep it real. We keep it real with each other for sure. She keeps it real with everyone on this team. And just knowing that, and being a coach for so many years, like, that you know how to deal with people first. And that's the thing. Yes, athletes, we're talented, we do all these things, but like knowing how to deal with each individual person in their own way, that you can, I say it's, you're singing to them. You're singing to them the song that they need, that they want to hear, that they're going to listen to. And she does that effortlessly. Like, she does it so well. And she figured out how to do that with me, where I'm still going to be a little spicy, but I'll turn back around and be like, you're right. You did that. You're
I
right.
mean,
I got to fix that.
hey, just remember, every singer that sings their song, no matter how they sing it, they got to have the audience that's willing to listen.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you know how to listen, and you process it, and you're not gonna beat around the bush. You might come back a little spicy, but like you'll get it done.
Absolutely.
That's funny. For
Yeah.
you, knowing that you're all in for 2025, all right, what are you working on? What are you trying to get better at? What do you think that you need to do to have another all-star season or even better season from last year?
Love that. Love that. Yeah. I mean, I study. I was studying before my first match. Like, I'm watching videos. I'm watching everybody. All of y'all, my beautiful United Grid Lead athletes. Thank you for posting your stuff, because I'm watching it. I look at it. I like watching, like, even like Jess and Eric, and watching them in their burpees over the bar. I'm slow-moing that and looking and counting, and I'm trying to figure out how I can go faster, what I need to do, little things like that. So the things that I definitely want to get better at is, like, those double touches, those triple touches. I'm a body weight specialist, so and I could definitely move a barbell a little bit. I'll never, I know I won't be in a mirror, but if I ever need to, clear ladder, something like that, like I want to continue to work on my strength for sure. But yeah, just fine tuning things, cleaning things up, staying smooth and fast at the same time. So I'm working on some things for sure, for sure.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I wanted to bring up something because I talked about how fast you were, but I don't like this right here. I mean, like, thankfully you have a judge, because there's no way like you're able to count these. Like, you're just moving so fast. And you know how dancers, when they spin, and even gymnasts, like when they're turning and doing things, oh, you gotta love that right there.
I
I
know.
mean, that's what it's all about. But like dancers and gymnasts, when they're having to spot, like I feel like you have to have some type of spot to keep yourself like from getting dizzy, and having a sense of like spatial awareness when it's time to stop and do the next thing. But I just can't, like, I think about moving that fast and I get tired. So,
Yeah.
but um
Thanks for showing that.
That's crazy. Next season, team goal. What's the team goal? We got a personal goal for you. What's the team goal?
We
Just to
want
get
that.
better?
We want, yeah, get better, right? We want that W. Keep the culture, this culture that was built, right, for years, throughout the Aces journey, because it's been a journey. So I've heard it's been a journey. But like this culture that was built, like we want to keep that going,
Yeah.
We do have some plans for next season. I know we want to know about it, and it's coming out there, but there will be a merge. So we want to keep that culture even with the merger, to just keep that going. Just we're a bunch of like-minded individuals. We understand, we have our personal goals, but that goal is to win, and we all have to play our part in this. So that's training, finding the time, getting these things in, showing up and showing out, all those good things. We want to keep that moving. So
Yeah, I think the big thing to hammer home to, however this merge goes, it doesn't matter what's on the front of it's
mm-mm.
it's the team. And it's all gonna say at the end of the day, whoever's on this team, every jersey is gonna say the same name on the front of it. And like that's what it's all about. Come together, do your shit, be accountable for yourself in the off season. That way when we come together, like it's go time.
Yes.
Um I I appreciate you coming on, taking some time with us. I'm gonna let you bounce. I know you're busy. You're probably I don't know if you trained today yet, but I'm sure there are plans to get in there, do some coaching, and do all that. But Janine, I wish you the best. Have a healthy off season, safe off season. Stay warm, and I look forward to meeting you in person at some point and seeing you back on the grid this season.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This has been
All right.
great.
Before you go, any sponsors, anything you want to plug or promote, or just want to say hi, boo?
Yeah, hey boo. She already know. I know she's gonna listen to this. But yeah, that, and then of course my community back out here in Jersey City, JC Fit, love them. Emotions, physical therapy, that's my girls, Dr. Form and Dr. Lauren. They fix me up every single time, put me right back out there on the grid. And then all the sponsors, everyone that supports me, of course, the Out Foundation, that I'm board president of. We're fighting every day for our LGBTQ plus community. And then I also want to shout out the Black platform as well too, as we are showing up and showing out for ourselves. We have a Black women's fitness event coming up on February 1st. So super excited to do that and just continue to represent, because representation matters, and we out here doing it.
Man, see, that's the thing. That's why I like talking to people like you because it makes me a better person. You make people better. So continue to make people better. And once we get this season rolling, I'm gonna reach out to you again because I want to know what's going on. So we'll
Great.
recap and talk again. All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank
I appreciate you. Have a great season. That is Janine Nicole, everybody. J9. If you like hearing Janine's story or you just like hearing Average Joe's talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook, retweet us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. Go over to YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notifications. That way you are first to know when new content's uploaded, and you can click on it. There's a variety of things. There's gymnastics, there's baseball, there's golf, there's tennis, there's soccer, and there is a ton of grid action. Just go. Trust me, you'll be impressed because I spend a lot of time. Jim spends a lot of time doing it, and I promise you'll find something that meets your needs and what you like to listen to. And with that, we got another good one. We're going to cap off the week tomorrow. Let's talk to her this morning. She's at Wadapalooza, but Briley Hanson's going to take a little bit of time out tomorrow to talk to us before, or really in between events that she's got going on in a team competition at Wadapalooza. So we'll talk to her about that. We'll talk to her about the South Beach Palms, what they got going on. But most importantly, we get to spread the word, baby. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. It's been the Grid and Grind Show. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grid and grind all the time. We out.